Item D, consideration action on council's confirmation of Marcy Ferris to post 6 of the Snellville Board of Appeals. Is there a motion to nominate Ms. Ferris, because the chair has not done so?
Motion to nominate Ms. Ferris to post 6 of the Snellville Board of Appeals.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Additional comments by council?
On item D of our new business agenda, consideration action to nominate Ms. Marcy Ferris. Marcy's done a great job for the city, but this nomination placed here is, in my opinion, is not done according to the charter, as we are dealing with some legal matters. I will not be able to nominate or agree to vote forth with this nomination.
Additional comments? For those of you that don't know, our city charter says that for our city boards, the mayor makes the nominations and the council confirms, similar to state government and federal government. A few months ago, the council tried to change the charter, and the charter is like the city's constitution. The council tried to change the charter so that the council can make nominations without the mayor making the nomination. In my opinion, the law says the charter can only be changed by going through the Georgia General Assembly. The council made those changes to our charter by the simple majority vote of council. And so right now there's a pending lawsuit between 4 members of council and myself in the Superior Court of Gwinnett County as to whether council had the authority to make those changes or not. In my opinion, any council nomination of a board appointment at this point in time would not be valid until there is an opinion issued by the Gwinnett County Superior Court and possibly the Court of Appeals. In addition, Ms. Ferris has served on our Board of Appeals, and I'm sure she's done an outstanding job, but she's served on our Board of Appeals for over a decade. One of the things we've been arguing about here in the city of Snellville is the need for change and for diversified boards. And I don't mean diversity just based on ethnicity, but different groups, different ages, and different ethnicities. Unfortunately, not all of the council's members feel that way. Ms. Fleeman, can you?
That I need to ask the attorney, since the history in Snellville was, as the city manager stated, that people were asked by the department, if the city council, by majority votes, that we are not inclined to replace anyone on the boards at this point who is willing to stay and serve on the boards. Well, I mean, can we not do that? I mean, it's nomination by the mayor and then confirmation by the council. The council indicates that they're not inclined to take anyone who's currently serving the city off of an existing board.
What Butch is describing is really an informal policy. It's not that process is not defined anywhere in your code or charter. And so if there's been a policy to that effect, it's been a custom that y'all have followed, and there's no formality to it. And to the extent that somebody wants to go back and apply the letter of the law, then we'd fall back to what the charter. You look at the state code first in the URA area, then you go to the charter if there was nothing that was state code driven, and then you go to your code. And
so the best thing would just be making a statement of that. What I'm trying to avoid is a litany of people presented for boards to replace people who have served for years, and then having the council voting them down and making that a spectacle as has been done in the past. I'm trying to avoid that happening. So I just need to know what can.
This was a work session we had several months ago when I was trying to make another nomination to actually the Board of Appeals and to the Urban Redevelopment Authority. And so as you can see, the theme of this council has been, we don't want change in this city. The people that have served for years are fine. We don't want new people on our boards. We don't want diversity. And also, we understand that the mayor has this right to nominate, but is there a way around it? And that's what I believe that council is doing tonight. So I will not and cannot support item number D or E. With that, I will call the question. All those in favor of the...
May I please?
I opened the floor for questions previously, and there was no comments.
Well, I didn't get to go when everybody started chiming in there, so either yes or no.
Sure.
Mr. Powell, can you opine a little bit on this situation a little bit, just so that we're clear? Because I'm under the impression we've already used this one time, if I'm not mistaken, where we filled a board position that we left in place. Am I incorrect?
I don't know if it's been used twice. I just don't remember those events,
Okay.
but I trust council does. So, I mean, it's a home rule. It's an advertised change.
Okay.
It's
So-
the methodology, just like you just did with regard to the notifications of email for council. It's not really designed to change mayor's power, is
Right.
the way I understand it. It's in a totally separate section, and it's really to keep positions from being open and vacant for longer than
Correct.
60 days, so that action is taken.
But again, we have used this already,
Yes.
and we meet the timeline. I mean,
This,
We-
my understanding is
so
those
there's-
positions have not been appointed within the
there
last
shouldn't
60 days.
be no issues with carrying forward with a vote, correct?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a provision that's designed to change mayor and council's power.
Correct.
Mr. Powell, this is part of the pending lawsuit that's at issue currently.
I really don't think so, Mayor, and let me.
You filed a counterclaim that included it,
I know,
Mr.
I know,
Powell.
but there is a.
I can show you if you'd like.
Yeah, there was a group. There was a group of amendments that were done that weren't including these groups. See, we've done two sets of home road changes in that time period. The first set got drug in. The second set, I don't believe it.
This was part of the first set of amendments.
Right. Then to the extent it's being construed as a change in mayor's power, then I think the counterclaim may have brought that in. I'm not really fine-tuned to that issue.
Thank you, Mr. Powell.
But nothing prevents us tonight from going ahead and moving
no.
forward and
I mean,
voting,
there's
correct?
no ruling. That's not
Okay.
before any, it's before
And
the
we'll like we said, if we have to make a change, we can go back and change.
With that, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion as stated signify by raising your right hand. That's 4 in favor. All those opposed, 2 opposed. The motion stands approved. Item D, consideration action on council's confirmation of Marilyn Sweeney to post 5 of the Snellville Board of Appeals. Is there a motion?
Motion to appoint Marilyn Swinney to post 5 of the Board of Appeals.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Howard. Any further discussion?
Yes. The video we just watched, which pertains to both of these appointments, I believe what my question is, or what I was saying there was a little misinterpreted by the chair. I was not saying at all that I was against diversity or I was against change. What I am stand up for are people who volunteered for the city and done a stellar job over many years and who want to continue working in that capacity and have the education in the field, have the knowledge, the experience, and the will to serve the city should be allowed that and not have political judgment made on them and have them serve at the whim of the political whim, at someone's whim. So that was what that whole discussion was. It had nothing to do with diversity. Anyone who knows me knows I have no problem with diversity. This is strictly about protecting people who have volunteered for the city for many years and who have done a great job and who wish to continue to volunteer.
I believe I've put up maybe the counts at 26 different nominations for our 4 different boards here in the city since I took office that have been voted down by the majority of this council. Those 26 people have been qualified. They have been diverse in their race and in their age. And so I stand by my statements.
Madam Chair? Actually, that's incorrect. There's been 28 positions that have been open for nomination and confirmation since your election. 26 of those have been filled by you with people that you have chosen. 2 were not before this evening. Also, there is only 4 people whose names were brought forward who were not approved. Those 4 people had reasons. 2 of them, the people did not live within or work within the CID district. They're both for the CID. And one other was an area of the city that was not included in that board. And the 4th one was Mayor Oberholzer for planning and zoning. So you stand correct, 26 to 28 appointments that you made since you've been made a mayor, elected mayor, have been filled with positions with people that you have nominated.
Councilman Woods, I check your math. We don't have 26 vacancies on our board, but we can go back and forth all night. I'm going to call this question. All those in favor of the motion as stated signify by raising your right hand. That's 4 in favor. All those opposed, that's 2 opposed. The motion stands approved. Now for council reports, Councilman Sabag, I know you have to leave. We'll start with you.
Good evening. I'm sorry I have to do this and leave, but I'd like to hear from you. Anyone who has a question can email me, call me, text me in any way. Tonight marks the 96th official mayor and council meeting since I was elected this post 4 years ago. So this, in reality, marks formally the end of the term. And I appreciate all the support and guidance provided to me by all the associates, my friends, relatives. As a citizen of this great city, been here for over 22, 23 years, I'm honored to have served in this 4-year term, and I've been a servant of the city. I look forward to continue building great relationships with you, everybody. Everybody, people on council, my foes, and my friends. If you have any questions, please let me know where I can answer them. I'm at your service. Please remember Mr. Odom while he recovers from his pacemaker that was placed in this morning as he's recuperating at the Gwinnett Medical Hospital. And with that, I'll leave you, and many blessings. God bless you all.
Thank you for your service, Councilman Sabag. Mayor Pro Tem Woods.
I'd like to thank everyone who worked on the Fall Festival. It really was a moment to be proud of in the city of Snellville. And something that wasn't mentioned that came to my attention Saturday is that I'd like to thank the police department and the volunteers. I understand that there's a 3-year-old boy who was lost. Within minutes, he was located. He had wandered a considerable distance from what I understand, but he was found safe and returned to his mother. And I'd like to thank the police department and the volunteers who were involved in that for their swift action and reuniting that mother and child without incident. Thank you very much. This is also the end of my first term. I thank everyone for helping me through that. I hope to return for the second term. That's up to you. But thank all of you for all you've done for me for the past 4 years. I appreciate it.
Councilman Emanuel.
Seems like every time I turn around, there's something else going on in the city that is really good and really positive. A few weeks ago, Eric and Ruby Montgomery, who own a business called Expose in the Fountain Square Shopping Center, had a fundraiser for Judah's House, which is an organization that's trying to build some kind of a program for autistic children and their parents. And it was very, very interesting. You hear about people with various challenges, and this was especially enlightening to me. I hadn't heard much about it. And these people have just a tremendous job to do raising their autistic children. And of course, every autistic child is a little bit different. So Judah's House is a local charity that's trying to provide daycare, tutoring, and respite for the parents, give them some time to get off by themselves and enjoy a few minutes without having to be totally focused on their children. I think we're going to be hearing more from them, and I'd like you to just be aware of it and give that some thought. If there's an opportunity for you to contribute to them, please be kind to them. Again, the Fall Festival was another outstanding Snellville festival. Volunteers did an excellent job. Looked to me like there were just a lot of people walking around having a great time, and look forward to next year's festival. November 4th, 5th, and 6th at the police station, the Eyes of Freedom Memorial will be coming to Snellville. This is a memorial. There are 8 life-size murals that an artist did to commemorate 23 of 24 soldiers who were killed in an Iraqi conflict. And it's a very moving exhibit. It was in Loganville a few months ago. And I'd encourage you to come by the police station and take a look at it. It's really exceptional. And the last thing I really don't want to talk about is taxes, but we have to talk about taxes. There's a SPLOST vote coming up, and it's very important. There's a lot of good projects we can get done with SPLOST, and if you've seen the signs along the roads, whenever there is a SPLOST project, it says your pennies at work. And it's our pennies, and it's pennies from people passing through, anybody spending money. A lot of good transportation projects, some recreational projects, so I'd like to encourage you to just give it some thought, and you have to go to your conventional polling place. It's not at City Hall. So if you have an early voter, you have 2 places to go on Election Day. But give that some thought. I think it'll help our community and the community surrounding us. Everybody have a safe trip home.
Councilwoman Kraus.
Good evening. Last week was one of the busiest weeks for me in reference to city business. I was very well educated last week and quite challenged. On Saturday evening, along with Councilman Emanuel and Councilman Howard, I also attended the first annual fall fundraiser for Judah's House Incorporated, and I listened to this young mother who told me about her family and her young son with autism. The story was a heartbreaker, yet this young mom turned it all around, and she began Judah's House Incorporated. If you have any interest in this, or you would like some more information, I have some flyers tonight, and I would be very happy to pass them out. Monday was a very busy day for me, and I spent the greater part of the day from 11 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon in the Evermore CID office. I listened, learned, I was educated on infrastructure, pathways, roadways, sidewalks, sewer lines, businesses, economic conditions, and the continuous flow intersection at 78 and 124. I have a lot to understand. Thank you, Mr. Brooks, if you're still here. I appreciate all your patience and your visuals. I certainly have a lot to think about and a lot to learn. When I left that meeting, I was happy to sponsor and sit on the Arts Commission. Their agenda is packed. They talked about Nico's wine tasting fundraiser. The doors in front of the City Hall, I hope you all have seen those and have not just driven by, but you actually parked and walked amongst them. They talked about Mice on Main. You're going to hear a lot more about that. Maybe we'll change it to the Little Critters on Main. The Christmas Carol fundraiser that's coming up. What an awesome group of art commissioners. They are on fire. I was sorry to see the resignation of Shannon Foster. She's the youngest in the group, and I wish her well in her job and her upcoming wedding. On Thursday, I attended the first 72 hours of emergency preparedness. Yes, this is my area. Unbelievable. My head is still reeling with all the information that I learned. And I can't tell you everything I did that day or what I did learn, so I'm only going to tell you a few things. The first one, please. This is about the CERT program, and I would love to see a large contingency of citizens willing to seriously look at our Gwinnett County's CERT program. Community Emergency Response Team. Can you open it up, please? We'll just look at the inside. It's a 7-week class, and the final drill is a Saturday morning with a full simulation. I have lots of brochures and lots of information here this evening. I would be happy to share that with you. The application that was sent to me online was 12 pages long. This is a very serious commitment, one that the city needs to have from volunteers. I'd also like to talk to the chief and see if we can't have one of the CERT county speakers come in and maybe talk to our volunteers at the Citizens Police Academy. If there's any ham radio operators out there, I definitely want to hear from you all. Email me, call me. I have an interest in ham operators. The green ones, please. Be ready. www.ready.gov. If disaster strikes, will you be ready? I can't read it. Can you kind of? All right.
In other words, can you enlarge it?
Can you get it? This is an emergency. I need to say this. 3 things: prepare and ready kit of supplies, create your emergency plan, stay informed about disasters. 2, maybe it's big enough, it's just blurry to me. Okay, the next one. Be ready again. And this is for you. In a disaster, you may need help, so be ready. You can get all this information off that ready.gov. Next one. In a disaster, you may be needing a helping hand, the ADA, people in wheelchairs, people that need you to help them. There's a plan. Next one. And we cannot forget this last one. Be ready for your pets. There's a whole section on getting your pet ready for a disaster. Thank you. A Red Cross fact. Georgia, we did have one more. Get Ready Gwinnett. That's another website as well. There's just more information than you can possibly imagine. There's no reason why all of us cannot be ready. And I have to be honest with you. I thought I was ready for a disaster. After this summit, I got to start all over again. There's a lot of things I missed. So please utilize this information and get yourselves ready. And the Red Cross fact. Georgia is an input state. This means we do not produce enough blood for our community. And we have to have blood brought into the state of Georgia. You can donate blood every 56 days. When the Red Cross is asking for donations, don't just think of financial or money. You can donate and save someone else's life by donating a pint of blood. Again, Ready Georgia will prepare you for your first 72 hours. www.ready.georgia.gov. Thank you very much for your attention, and you will hear from me every week on disaster readiness. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Howard.
How's everybody doing out there? Everybody good? There we go.
Ready to go home?
Yeah, I know. Just, I commend you all. I'll only take 30 minutes. We're fine. Everybody's fine. So, yeah. No. Here's the disaster. Miss Linsky, can you stand up a minute, please? Well, if y'all didn't hear earlier, Miss Linsky brought her whole government class out, and if I could get the whole class to stand up, give yourself a round of applause. there was one time that I used to go to school, and it was a long, long time ago, and I sat right where you are in some of the classes that I had to attend. And I want to commend you all for taking time out of your night and being here at this opportunity for one of our council meetings. You know, what we do as a city is very important, and it affects everybody within our city. And it is incumbent on each of y'all as you grow and learn and discover who you're going to be, to decide if you want to be part of that part of the world, I guess, if I could say it that way. Because within each city, there's an opportunity for you, even at your young age, to be a part of this city and to help. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, during the Fall Festival, you know, that little bit of service right there can sometimes spark the next thing that you want to do or the next opportunity for service. So do not ever give up the light of service that you have within you right now. And being here is a part of that service as well. And I do want to commend you all, and I thank you all for doing that. So with that, I will continue. It wouldn't be right if I didn't talk shop local. Everybody here in the city, we need to support our local businesses. Our Veterans Memorial, I talk about it every time, and we're going to get that thing going, and we're starting to make some strides and headways there, so I'm very excited about that as a part of our city for the future. You know, I come to the end of my 2-year term, which I filled an unexpired term, our previous Mayor Pro Tem Barbara Bender. And I want to thank my colleagues on council as well, and I want to make sure that the city staff know how much I appreciate all the help that they've given me in the past 2 years. There's a tremendous learning curve for all of us. I think we are blessed with a great city staff. Do I think we get it right all the time? No, I don't. Do I think we can always look to the future and do things differently? In some cases, absolutely. I've been very proud to serve on this council. I'll look at this as a highlight of my life, and I want to thank each of you for doing that. Many people have had a part of that, and many people deserve and will get thanks for that. You know, it's hopefully an opportunity I can continue, and I do want to continue that. So with that, I want to wish you all a great and safe night going home. Thank you all. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the council report.